let me talk about history repeating itself. And what I mean by that is the first coming of Jesus Christ, which was on the earth, and the second coming of Jesus Christ, which would be from the heavens. Now these two are pretty much identical. Like I say, the first coming is from earth, or on earth, and the second coming will be from the heavens. Now it's absolutely amazing. Now, how did Jesus come about the first time? Obviously he was born by Mary, and the second time he'll be coming from the heavens, and the sign in the heavens, this is spoke about in Revelation 12, is the constellation, which is also called Virgo, or the Virgin. And you'll see that the two are identical. History repeats itself to the T. I mean, there's slightly different meanings, and of course the second coming is the end of the age and the return of Jesus and the bounding up of Satan, and also a false one comes pretending to be Jesus before he turns up, and also the false prophet also tries to make people believe that the false Christ is the real Christ. But let's just stick to the birth and the timings and events. You might want to take down a piece of paper and a pen for this, because there's a lot of detail and a couple of dates, so you can go back and you can look at this yourself, because don't take my word for it. I've just been given the knowledge of understanding, and now it's time to reveal things to the world. Now, very basic though. First coming, the Virgin Mary becomes pregnant, okay, on earth. For the second coming, the Virgin constellation becomes pregnant. Jupiter is a symbol for is the king planet, but the planet Jupiter is a symbol for Jesus, as a sign for the second coming, okay. And Jupiter moves in to Virgo, or impregnates her, in December 2016. Alright, so yeah, that's this year. Yeah. Now, obviously the woman's pregnant, she's going through a pregnancy, and then she's ready to give birth to the child. And Mary, the Virgin, gives birth to the first coming of Jesus. Okay? 9 months after December, where Jupiter had impregnated Virgo, it stays there for 9 months. And then in September the 23rd, 2017, the woman, the Virgin in the heavens, the constellation, is ready to give birth, and this is symbolised by Jupiter Jesus, who has been inside of her, let's say, for 9 months. But the sign is complete on September the 23rd, 2017, and she was impregnated by Jupiter 9 months earlier in December 2016. So that's, as you can see, history repeats itself. So the woman, let's say the Virgin Mary, now gives birth to Jesus, and he's born as a son. Now something else happens is the dragon, this is a scripture for the second coming, but it says the dragon stands before the woman to devour her child as soon as it was born. But this, like I say, history repeats itself. So looking back in the first coming of Jesus, when he was born, there was a dragon, or someone that was at least possessed or influenced by Satan to kill the child, and his name was Herod. And he ordered that all the children that were born that were 2 years or less should be killed, because he was trying to devour the child as soon as it was born on the first coming. Now on the second coming, that happens again. There's an entity out there in space that space people block out, but it's there. It looks a bit like E.T., but with black eyes, big head, black eyes, green, and it's like serpent. It's exactly like the artifact of the Egyptians, and funnily enough, it's just like that scar of that thing that's found on Obama's head, exactly the same. And it is waiting right by the legs of Virgo, and that was a couple of years ago. This was revealed to people. So, you know, these are the times we're living in. So the dragon is stood by Virgo to devour her child as soon as it was born in the heavens. You see? Now, difference being, in the end of the age, the dragon himself, Satan himself, is going to be the spiritual being, is going to be cast down to earth, and it says he's going to be mad with the woman who gave birth. So that means there's a woman on, during the second coming, there's also a meaning for the woman on earth, which is the Jewish people. Only they can give birth to Jesus' second coming, because Jesus says before he left to the Jews, when he stood in the temple and he stood in the city and the wall, inside the walls, and he says, "You will not see me again until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." So I'm saying that I think the only way for him to come, the only way for the woman on earth to bring about the second coming birth, is to say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, after the temple and the city and the wall have been rebuilt. History repeating itself also with the city and the wall and the temple. So, but when he is reborn, it says that Satan himself is going to be thrown down, and Jesus said he saw Satan fall as lightning from the heights, and the Hebrew words lightning, barak, and the heights, bama, is saying that basically he saw Satan falling as Barack Obama, meaning Barack Obama is Hebrew name, spelt differently but it's pronounced the same, and it means lightning from the heights. So we know that he's the dragon who will be incarnated on earth, and this is, like I say, this is the end times, and he knows that. It says Satan is wroth with a woman, and he knows his time is short, it says in Revelation 12, and he goes off to make war with the woman who gave birth to the man-child, Jesus. And this is exactly the same as Herod. He went off to make war with the woman, Virgin Mary, who gave birth to the Christ in the first coming. So you see what I mean? Two dragons. Only difference is the one that's going to try and stop the second coming is actually going to be on earth as Barack Obama. So, like I say, this is the end of the age. This is the return of Jesus, the second coming. Right, just moving on though, but just like that, again, I'll stick with second coming scripture. It says that the woman is given the great wings of the wings of a great eagle, and she flees into the wilderness where she is protected for 1,290 days from the face of the serpent, from the face of Satan, from the face of Obama in the second coming. And like I said, the woman, I believe, is a Jewish congregation, because before Jesus left, he told them, when you see the abomination of desolation, flee from Jerusalem, because the Romans are going to overthrow the temple again in the last times, but they're going to set up the Antichrist in the temple as a person of worship, and that's the time that the Jews will flee into the wilderness. But also, like I say, history repeats, and in the times of the first coming, that's right, that Mary fled into the wilderness of Egypt, and she remained there until Herod was dead. Now from that, if we say history is going to repeat itself to that extent, now let's say Jesus was 2 years old, okay, from when he's born, 2 years old, and that's when Mary fled into the wilderness for 3.5 years herself. Like I say, history repeats itself, so we take the second coming and we can see that the first coming, Mary would have been in Egypt for 3.5 years, just like the second coming. I mean, it's getting a little bit confusing, but I will make images. Now, if we were to take that first coming as Mary, Jesus being 2 years old when they fled, let's say, yeah, maximum 2 years old when they fled into the wilderness for 3.5 years. Herod died in 4 BC, and then Jesus returned to Israel Now, if we take end times second coming scripture, and we take that September 23rd, you know, when the birth happens, on that day the birth happens. But if we go forward 2 years, let's say, as a period of possibility when the dragon would have tried to devour her before she fled, if we take 2 years, that'll take September 2017 to September 2019. Yeah? Now, if the woman flees for 1,260 days, 3.5 years, within or just at that 2-year mark, now that puts, we go from September 2019, we go half a year, we come to the Passover month, March, April of 2016. If we count 3 years from there, 3.5 years, 1,260 days, we actually get to the Passover time, March, April again, in the year 2023. It might sound a bit confusing, that, but it's interesting now because it matches another scripture I was trying to explain about Daniel's 2,300 days on which the Temple Mount would be defiled, and obviously that's another video, but you can see how history repeats itself. The woman Mary flees. In the end times, the congregation of Israel is told to leave Jerusalem when they see the abomination of desolation set up and the daily sacrifices taken away from a newly built temple. They're told to flee into the wilderness, and the Bible tells us for 1,290 days. So you can see how, and one last thing on how history repeats itself, is that on the first coming, after that 3.5 years that they're out of there, or Mary was out of there, she and Jesus returned to Jerusalem, right? So, if you think about this now, the congregation's going to flee when the temple is overthrown and the powers are overthrown in Jerusalem. You know, the Jews are overthrown by the Romans again. They're going to flee once they see that happen for 1,290 days. This is the 3.5 year time where the Antichrist will proclaim to be God, and they will tell everyone to worship him. Anyone who doesn't, they'll set up an image for him. They'll have everyone marked implanted in their hand or in their forehead that they can't buy or sell. They'll do all these things, and if anyone doesn't go along with it, they're going to get killed. People are going to get killed for not, you know, rejecting Jesus and all. There's lots of things, but it'll only last for 3.5 years, which is, you know, quite short really. And then, just like Jesus returned from Egypt to Jerusalem after 3.5 years in his first coming, in his second coming also, he will return after that 3.5 years of the Antichrist and the 3.5 years that the woman congregation of Israel had to leave Jerusalem. Isn't that amazing? He's going to return actually to earth from the heavens during the second coming, just like he returned with his mother on his first coming. So I just wanted to share with you how history is repeating itself so accurately. I mean, even if people say to me they're a realist, and I say, well, I'm a realist. I've always been a realist, and even when I was an atheist. And if you are a realist, how can you not look at this stuff and go, wow, you know, the Virgin there giving birth, Jupiter impregnates her, 9 months later, September 23rd, she's going to give birth, all the sign, the sun, the moon, crown 12 stars, giving birth to Jupiter the king, who's in her, who's been there for 9 months. The dragon's waiting there to devour it. Like I said, 2 years from there would be the time that the temple is going to get overthrown by the Romans. With 2 years after September 2017 will be that window on which, you know, the abomination and desolation will get set up after that, and then it's going to be the worst 3.5 years that ever has been and ever will be. So God be with us all. But the times are closing in, so I hope you're having a good day. God bless you all. Keep praying, ask Him for forgiveness, pray for your family members, your friends, pray for me as well. We don't know what God's got in store for us just yet, but anyway, all these things will come to pass, and Jesus Christ will return, and the earth will be restored, and all the dead in Him will be coming with Him. So God bless you all. Thanks for watching.